Welcome to the Annie Jennings Publicity Success Series, where we showcase client success in leveraging Annie's media bookings as door openers into huge opportunities with mega money-making potential. My name is Stacey Amaral Kaufman, and I'm joined by Frederick Birkett, professor at the University of Hawaii's College of Education and author of The Military Parent's Guide to Public, Private, and Charter Schools. Professor Birkett will be discussing how he was able to leverage his top market radio campaign into new business. So welcome, Professor Birkett.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Nice being on your show.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, it's our pleasure. I know we worked very closely together on the radio campaign. And, what Annie likes to find out from all of our clients that have experienced this success in working with us, first off, for our listeners out there, how and why did you end up choosing Annie Jennings Publicity above the others?
Well, number one, I just happened to go online. I was looking for different, publicity groups to help me publicize my book. I knew I had written a product that was a good product, but I knew that it's one thing to write a product or create something that's good for the public. It's another thing for them to know about it. And so I did my homework and realized that Annie Jennings was one of the best. And also I spoke to another writer here to use, Annie Jennings, and she gave rave reviews, good reviews. So that was good enough for me to sign up.
Oh, right. Word of mouth. You don't get anything better than word of mouth in terms of marketing
Right.
and so on. So I'm glad that it's all positive out there about Annie Jennings. Throughout the process, what was it? Was it, the integrity of the guarantee, of course, that Annie Jennings Publicity has, the quality of the interviews or the socially relevant conversations? What was it that you appreciated the most in your experience with Annie?
It definitely was the quality of the interviews. Okay, that I was put on really great radio stations, professional radio places where they talked about subjects that are close to my heart and close to what I wrote about. And so it was nice to be linked up with have interviews where there were serious interviews, and not to mention a large audience who could hear about what I was talking about. In my case, educating children. So it was really the fact that I could get to an audience that I would not normally have been able to get to.
And how fun was it? I know, and I'm thinking back several weeks, that you said, hey, I'm in Honolulu, Hawaii, so of course jealous already of being in Hawaii. But, I'm out here, and it's great that I'm on all these major markets in the continental U.S., and even though Honolulu isn't necessarily a market that is ranked in the top 35 in the country, I would still really like to be in my local market. And you were able to ask us for that, and then we ended up getting you on the National Public Radio affiliate there in studio. So what was that experience like to say, hey, I would love for you guys to do this, and then have us deliver?
Right. Well, I appreciate that. That worked out big time. Yes, although we're not one of the top 35 markets, here in this state, we NPR affiliate here in Hawaii is number one. And so actually what ended up happening, a lot of my friends called me and told me that they heard me on the radio. That was nice to know. So NPR is huge here in Hawaii because it's the only station like that exists here in the islands. So it was really huge. And again, education is a big market here in Hawaii. So I was able to speak with other people who called me up to, possibly invite me to do some, write some articles and things like that, knowing what I have to say about education, especially in terms of children in the military.
And of course, not only education being a big topic of interest there, but also the military families, right? I mean, Honolulu is a major area for bases.
It is the major area in the Pacific. We're the gateway to the Pacific in the military. I spent 8 years in the military. 4 of my years were spent here in Hawaii 20 years ago. So I know the importance of the military market here. It impacts everything we do here in the island. So I thought that was a really great opportunity that I had to speak to that market, i.e., it allowed me to then get connected with a magazine here that writes specifically to the military market. So I'm going to be actually doing some feature writing for them in the area of education starting next week. So it really worked out very well for me to get. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like not only you were able to have people hear you and you were able to call, and that's always exciting when someone you know calls and says, "Hey, heard you on the radio,"
Sure.
or "saw you on TV." So, you have that. That's always great for the ego, a little ego boost. But
Sure.
also, you're able to parlay that into
Exactly.
other media opportunities. So,
Yeah.
using the time that you had on the air, and I know you do a great job. We've had a good feedback, and of course, we provide unlimited media training throughout the campaign. So, Frederick, if you ever needed that, that was available to you, so you could put your
Oh,
best foot
definitely.
forward, right, on the air,
Yes.
and
Yes. Definitely.
be able to engage and pique the interest of other people out there who
Yes.
wanted to then contact you, because you never know who's listening, right?
That's right. That's right. You never know. So it worked out. You never know who's in the audience. And it worked out very well for me in terms of, again, getting my book out there and being known by the public here in the state.
Now, I know when you were talking with Annie the other day, you discussed with her how you learned some things from doing the radio interviews with us. What were some of those things that you learned during the radio campaign?
Well, number one, I've learned, like anything else, you can have the greatest product in the world, but if no one knows about you and about your product, it doesn't matter how great it is. So I felt that by using Annie Jennings' agency, it allowed me to get the product out to the world, and me as a person in terms of what I have to say. So it opened up doors that there's no way I could have opened those doors myself.
And in terms of what you're doing now, how did you leverage, some of these big name radio shows and different brand name affiliates that you were on into new business? I know that you were able to garner some new business from this too.
Well, yes. Well, first of all, I have a web page for my book, so therefore now I can put the different programs I've been on. I'm going to add that to my web page, which is nice to have because it just adds credibility. It
Hmm.
talks about me not just being a writer, but the fact that now I'm able to put on my web page that I'm a speaker, uh, an educational consultant, educational speaker who can speak about issues of education. So it's nice to add that as part of my resume in life, and just gives me a way to expand myself out there into the community where people can really know, hey, when we need to talk education issues, let's call Fred Birkett because we've heard that he has some things to say and some important things to say as well.
So your credibility is being built up. You don't just have your education, which is, you have some really great credentials there as well, and your experience. But now the media, you have that third-party media seal of approval.
Yeah,
So even if they don't know, Professor Burkett, they know CBS Radio or they know NPR Radio, and they're able
that's
to
right.
feel good about using
Yeah.
you, whether it's for a contract of sorts, consulting or anything like that, or to have you on with, a bigger brand name media as well. So that's good. Now, tell us about how you got some new business. I know you said that you had some new opportunity.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to kind of get into the military market. There's a whole in the military you can contract with them with the right product. And so as I was talking to the person on the phone about the different interviews I did, he said, "Look, I want you to send me a copy of your book. I'm going to mention to people in the higher ups about what you've done on radio and your book, and make a long story short. In fact, they're doing a major campaign on my book next week in one of the largest bases in the United States, Fort Bragg in North Carolina, and several other bases, and they're going to be doing a big expose here in Hawaii. So the fact that I talked about what I had done with Annie Jennings in terms of publicity and the radio shows I was on, I guess it helped give me credibility. So that now I'm in the process of getting ready to sign a pretty big contract and getting my book on all the bases in the United States and Europe. So that's a pretty huge accomplishment.
That is amazing. That's great news. And it is exactly what you can do when you are booking these shows, when you can use that on the website, when you can leverage that in marketing. If you are, you're up against maybe somebody else as well for the same contract, the same speaking gig. the same job or even the same media opportunity, that
Sure.
media that you've done, of course, gives you that competitive edge over your competition. So
Yeah.
that's excellent, and congratulations. So now you're going to be, all over the place.
Yes. Well, again, I thank Annie Jennings for agency for making that happen for me. Because again, without the use of the agency, the backing, the support that you guys have given me, I don't think this would have happened at all.
Well, you know what? You've been a absolutely fabulous client, and of course, we hope to continue to build on your media resume for you as you get bigger and badder.
I'm looking forward to a continued relationship. I really am.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if anyone wants to learn more about Professor Frederick Birkett and his book, The Military Parent's Guide to Public, Private, and Charter Schools, you can do so at his website, which is militaryk-12, that is the number 12, 12, families.com, militaryk-12families.com. So thank you so much, Fred, for your time. We really appreciate it and wish you the best.
Thank you for having me.
To find out more about Annie Jennings, Publicity, and how you too can experience success in your life, just like Professor Birkett did, you can visit our website at www.anniejenningspr.com. That's anniejenningspr.com.